Guys, back to this, probably the finale of the inventory system. I've made a few changes with the item data script. I actually recorded it, but something happened with the recording and only 10 seconds were recorded. So you'll see the change here. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go through the change. I did it in my main series. It's done slightly differently in my Let's Build a MOBA, but I kind of like that for Let's Build a MOBA. But this one works a bit differently. This one, well, in Let's Build a MOBA, what it does is it always does this outer layer thing, right? This not this, but the outer layer. So see how when I select something, it selects the object itself, right? So it looks like this, and when I select something, it just looks like this. Well, what you used to do is just select the outer layer. It was still visible and quite nice, but it was just a different way of doing it. Like, I'll show you. I can actually open up the Unity like this. I have two Unities running. This one is made in 4.6, so if you guys are building in 5, don't worry, there's no difference. I just didn't copy over to 5 because I felt, well, the series is in 4.6, it's not fair to halfway to switch across. But if we look at the inventory system, yes, it's new UI if you haven't seen this before. But yeah, so if you click, see as I click on them, see how they work. Yeah. Oh, because most likely the shop's disabled. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. I'm not looking at this. I'm just gonna open it and then play close again. There's something with this. I'm not gonna bother because that's not what I'm doing today. It's not fair to jump into that. But it's some weird issue. But as you see, this works here perfectly. I probably just mucked something out with how inventory system works. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so we're going to go over the code of what I changed, and then I'm going to show you. But yeah, so what you would have seen in the last episode is just one of these. I just watched the last few minutes here. Did we actually do detect a mouse over? Yeah, we must have, because I remember this. But yeah, so we've done detect mouse server. If you guys didn't miss it, I'm just going to go over how you do it. So I did just get one and copy and pasted it, and then it fixed itself. This is probably the best way to do it. But what you do is you're having two event triggers here. You're having one called do tooltip and one called off tooltip, as well as one called mouse entered and mouse entered with the boolean false. Now the reason we're doing this is we're saying this is to use the tooltip, to activate the tooltip. Right? This is when you don't want to use the tooltip anymore and you're just deactivating it. This is to say that the mouse has entered, and this is to say when the mouse hasn't entered, when it's exited. And the reason we do this on each of these objects is this allows us to do something called a click detector. Because our click detector determines whether or not the mouse has entered, and this mouse copy is just for UI sake, so not UI sake, but you know, for visual sake, so when we're making the editing, we can see, okay, it actually has entered or hasn't entered, which we normally wouldn't. And so instead of having to use debugs. And obviously we have our left method name, our right method name. So press and select. So if we click it, it will activate it. As you see, activate it. But this can't be activated. As you can tell, this one can't be activated, so it does nothing. But this one can, and it activates. Another thing you will notice is when it starts on 2-second cooldown. Whereas it's a 4-second cooldown. Now why is that? Well, it's because in our code we set it to be a 2-second cooldown. The reason why is because some items, like for example in League of Legends, you have a ward totem, trinket, whatever you want to call it, and it can allow you to place down a special ward which like provides vision, so you can see enemy champions around the area. And when you buy it, they put a little cooldown time on it, just so whenever you change your thing, so you can't just constantly change it, do something, come back, change it, do something. You know, they put a little cooldown time on it, and obviously you can do the same quite easily. Now, but yeah, so you will see as our tooltip, if you see it, it pops on and pops off, and we just do that basically. And that's it. There's nothing else. There's no, obviously, there's nothing else that we need to do. Right? No other thing. I'm really tired today. But let's go into what we changed. So, this stuff shouldn't be different. One big difference is, actually no, it is different. Okay, we made this an array, before it wasn't. So make sure it's an array. Well, first thing. Second thing, make sure it says get components. This S is very important, because this S allows us to get every single component and put them in an array, right? And obviously it takes it from the child order. So you make sure you got your child order like this. Image, text. These don't need to be this way, they can be this way. But it doesn't really matter. Actually, I don't know why we're getting text, because yeah, I don't know why we're doing the array thing, but we are. We're just gonna let that stand still. We are doing an array. I think children must include us, but that's fine. So what we're doing is we're just doing that. So let's copy this down, and then we're saying if current item has a key, then it's a little boolean that we put in. You probably remember that. I don't know if we actually did it, but we just added a little boolean, as you can see here, called has key. And whenever we have a key, we say yes. If it doesn't have a key, we say false. That way, I believe we're not actually, that way, because the old method was to just turn off the object. So if the object, if the little space doesn't have a, if the little space doesn't have any item in it, then just turn it off. There's no need for it, right? So that means that we're not displaying anything. But the problem is that if the object had a key, it didn't have a key, but was an object, like a potion, or potions normally have consumables, but for example, an item that you can't activate, then what we would do is we would go, okay, well, what would we do then? So this way, it's a quick way, so we're not actually deactivating, we're just not displaying the text. And then else we're just saying it is equal to nothing. That way means if we're switching items, it's actually sets to nothing. Otherwise it wouldn't. Because if we had an item and then we switch to another item, it wouldn't switch. So we're saying if it has a cooldown, then what we're going to do is we're going to display the cooldown as a number with a single decimal place instead of just all the decimal places. And then if the current item has a texture and the holder is not grey, then we make it clear. So if the current item does not have a texture and the thing is not grey, then we change it to clear. Now, you may not understand, why would we do this? The reason why is that if we select a thing, right, we want the color to be grey. If we don't have that little if statement there, and that little is statement, what that means is that if it is grey, then don't override that grey color. Keep it grey. But if it changes from grey to pink or grey to white, whatever, change it back. So we're saying if that is true, which we normally set that the item texture is equal to null, and does not equal null, or it has an item texture and the color is grey. This is what we're checking here. If the color does not equal grey, so that's we're saying that current item but texture does not equal null. So we have an image. So we're actually displaying something. So if we're displaying something, then we're saying to white. Else, and then we're also displaying that texture. If we press the item, we're activating it. We're just saying you activate. Select is just a way to say if it's not grey, and our current press, which is what we're actually pressing on. So I know it may sound weird, but current press is just a way for us to essentially just say whether or not we're pressing. Current press tells us what item data this is. So this is in item slot 3, item slot 4. That's what we're doing it for. So if it's not grey and the current press does not equal 1, so this is not in the -1 slot, which I know makes some sense, but just let it be. then we're saying basis means that we haven't pressed anything, right? So it has not been pressed. So if you press the slot, I'll explain this, right? This happens. Because guess what? This color isn't gray, and this and ignore the second part. I'll explain in a second. If we click again, guess what happens? It is gray. So that means it does this statement, which we're basically just saying, hey, you're not doing it anymore, and remove the color. And the reason we have the can't press, which literally just says, it's like getting its name and converting it to an integer, where it's just a way to we can store what one you are. Yeah. So we just get count, and then we just add our ID. So this IM switches thing, I believe this was in last episode. Yeah, that was in last episode. Yeah. The only thing I did change was, however, the color. I'm changing the color instead of removing it. So only really up here, where I changed it to clear instead of gone, instead of deactivating it. That was the only big change I did make, and no other changes. Thanks guys so much for watching. I mean, there's not much else for me to say. There's a very quick finale. It's basically full. I mean, you can't convert a shop instantly to this, because a lot of the code I left behind for shops, such as prices for items and stuff, I'm not going to be doing shop because I haven't really finished. I'm not really happy with my current shop design. But if you do want to see a shop design that's pretty darn good, you can look at my Let's Build a MOBA tutorials, or Let's Explain a MOBA. I don't know if I'm going to shop one of those. And Let's Build a MOBA is just me building a MOBA, and I go through the steps of how to build not only a MOBA but other games, and I show things like shop systems, like item systems, like pathfinding and all that other stuff, and I show a variety of things. So you can go see that series, and that series will go to the shop system as it develops. And then I have another series called Let's Explain a MOBA, which has just started, and it's just an idea of me trying to explain how my MOBA works by explaining all the scripts. So I go through each script one by one. I'm going to start zooming in on them, going through, explaining, maybe drawing things if I need them, and just trying to, so you can copy down code if you missed them. So the whole idea is that you're kind of meant to go through the main series and then go, oh, I missed some code and it's jumped over here. Okay, so what do I do? Stop. What have I missed? This. So then you can go through the video and take the code you want. So instead of me putting it online, it's still kind of copying. You can still listen to me explaining it, because if I just put it online, you just get it and you have no clue what it does. So me explaining it lets you understand what it does, as well as you being able to copy it down. Yeah, so thanks guys for watching. See you guys next time. Please subscribe if you like the videos, comment or whatever. Do whatever you need. I'm really bad with the whole ending thing. See ya.